This video is brought to you in part by Asus, and Lenovo Legion, and the Samsung 9100 Pro, and Puma, and Alienware, and Beyblade
and
X,
Curse,
and Haishu,
and MSI,
and AirAsia,
and SpongeBob
SquarePants,
SquarePants,
and Mojang. Sonic Racing Crossworlds is a game I wasn't really excited for when it was revealed. Honestly, I don't think most people were. The last racing game, Team Sonic Racing, was pretty widely received as mediocre, and this game's reveal was nearly identical to that one. CGI trailer, no gameplay, car. But considering I now have, including the 2 demos, 30 hours in the game, I think it's safe to say I misjudged this game a bit. So I just want to give my initial thoughts upon finishing the game and playing the online. I'm just gonna start with the obligatory big complaint I have with all recent Sonic games, because it's the only serious issue I have with this game, so I want to get it out of the way. They still haven't fixed these damn 3D models. Now, I know, not everybody can bring themselves to care if the ears are concave instead of convex, or if his eyes have dominance over his muzzle or are round enough, or if the spacing or sharpness of his quills is correct, but I fucking do, okay? The reason Sonic's design is so appealing is because of the clever use of shape language, and they've done it right in the past, so I know they can absolutely do it again. They just need to sit down and do it. The stock render look this game has makes it look cheap comparatively to even something like Riders from 20 years ago, which had its own stylized look to both its in-game models and 3D renders. Hell, the Riders box art has better shaping for Sonic's face that's more representative of his 2D artwork than the current model, and it was made in 2006! This shouldn't be the bar for quality! Now, granted, this game actually uses the Tokyo 2020 models rather than the Forces models they've been using since 2017. And these models are marginally better, with more balanced proportions, a smaller, rounder torso, longer, thicker arms, so you know what? Baby steps. Just fix up the faces and I'll be happy. You've done it right before, just do it again. Anyways, let's talk about the actual game. The game is a pretty standard kart racer, you know the drill. If you've played Mario Kart, you know how this game goes. But this game has a few things that set it apart for me, the best of which in my opinion being the gadget system. Essentially you have 6 different gadget slots, and a wide variety of different gadgets to fit into those slots. These will be things like increasing drift charge speed, increasing trick speed, stat modifiers, additional abilities, starting with specific items, and other enhancements. The wide variety of different gadgets means you can alter your selections to fit your playstyle and vehicle. Like, say you main Extreme Gear, and you're having problems with getting frequently barraged by items since Extreme Gear has a low strength stat. You can use 3 of your gadget slots on the quick recovery gadget so you can tank hits better. But there are also drawbacks, since it uses 3 slots you might not be able to use everything else you'd want, so it adds a degree of experimentation to find what works for you. Some people go all in on drift boosts for a high-risk, high-reward playstyle, where you can build max-level drifts quickly but items fucking decimate you. Some people go all in on item slots and increase chance at wisp items. In combination with the customizable vehicles, it makes this game by far the most customizable kart racer I've ever played. My main gadget combo was originally Quick Recovery, with level 1 Quick Boost and Boost Tuner 2, with a Blue Star Extreme Gear, since I like to use drift boosts a lot and the Extreme Gear can't tank hits for shit, so Quick Recovery is life-saving. But then I started experimenting with Technical Drift and the Drift Charge Kit, since it increases the speed of all boost levels, and it's night and day. I can just snake constantly. This is why I think the customization is so fucking cool. I'm still figuring out new combos over 20 hours in. Let me know in the comments what combos you use. I promise this isn't typical YouTuber engagement bait, I actually just want to experiment with different combos. On the topic of customization, it's cool to have customizable vehicles here at all, but it's a bit limiting that you can't overlap decals and you only have 4 on each section of the vehicle. I understand why though, people would draw dicks on their cars and you can't have that in an online kids game. Also, I joked about it at the start, but the number of brand deals with decals is fucking hilarious. Why the fuck can I put the Haichu logo on my Extreme Gear? This game is so chock full of advertisements, I'm surprised every Grand Prix didn't start with Sonic going,
Before we get into the races, I'd like to get in a word from our sponsor. Have you ever wanted to build a website for your business?
One aspect of customization I kinda don't like is the varying character stats, but this is solely because I want to main Amy and she has the slowest speed stat in the game. I get it adds another degree of customization, which I was just praising, but I don't want to play as someone other than Amy. Sega, hear me out here. What if, when you inevitably add the Riders outfits in an update, you make all the Riders versions of the characters boost characters? Miku's the only boost character in the game right now, so it makes sense, right? Please? Another thing that sets this game apart for me is the character interactions, especially the rival interactions. They're fun, and for the most part, I find they're in character besides some minor complaints, and it adds a lot of personality to the game. The only character who isn't characterized very well in my opinion is Amy, which as I just stated is my main. Amy fans cannot fucking win! She's supposed to wear her heart on her sleeve, be incredibly expressive, and speak her mind, whereas the most expression current Amy is allowed to have is equivalent to that of a passive-aggressive retail customer. Stop trying to dial down Amy's personality to appeal to people who never even liked her. Sorry, I got on a tangent there. Amy's current characterization bugs me. But from what I've seen, I like most of the other rival interactions, and even Amy has some good ones here and there. Also, obviously the game's main gimmick is the whole Crossworld thing, which I'm honestly a bit mixed on. A lot of the Crossworlds are just weaker than the main tracks. I'd honestly rather just do 3 laps of Wonder Museum than have fucking Magma Planet in the middle. Some of the Crossworlds are great though, don't get me wrong. Steampunk City in particular is a standout. The problem was also significantly alleviated with the full release, since in the demo and network test I saw Sky Road so many times it drove me mad. So maybe I'm just mixed on the system because I have bad memories from the demo. I think the final race of the Grand Prix having you go through the first 3 tracks again is fun, and I guess in a way it kinda gives you your 3rd lap in the end. Honestly, it'd be cool if you could do an insane race where you go through 1 lap of every single track in the game, kinda like Mario Kart Double Dash's All Cup Tour. Also, I like how after finishing every Grand Prix, regular tracks start showing up as Crossworlds, since like I said, I find the regular tracks more engaging than the Crossworld tracks. Something that this game really nails that I think every other Sonic kart racer failed at is replicating the sheer chaos of a game like Mario Kart. Team Sonic Racing in particular had really wide tracks, and everything felt so spread out that there wasn't really any of that chaos that makes kart racers so fun. This game's tracks are just narrow enough to fix that problem, plus the item balancing is insane. It's straight up Mario Kart Wii level item balancing, which is the sort of thing where you either love it or it drives you fucking insane. And as someone who's been playing Mario Kart Wii since I was like 5, I'm definitely the former. And I think it strikes a nice enough balance of being batshit insane, but still being manageable enough that you could learn to play around it. And for people who don't like the insane item balancing, Race Park has a custom race mode where you can disable any items you don't want. And you can also disable specific Crossworlds if you don't want them to appear. Granted, there seem to be some weird restrictions. Like, for some reason, I can't do a race where every item is King Boom Boo. It'll just enable the Boost Wisp by default. And you can't turn off every Crossworld and just play without them, which is an odd restriction. It's nice for the customization to be here, don't get me wrong, but it's weird that they don't go all the way. Do you have any idea how fun it is to play Mario Kart with only blue shells and bullet bills enabled? You just can't do crazy stuff like that in this game, which is a shame. It's taken me long enough to get to it, so let's talk about the actual tracks. I don't think any of the main tracks stand out to me as necessarily bad. Pretty much any of these could be selected in online, and I'd be happy besides maybe Metal Harbor, and that's solely because people pick it too much. So let's just talk about some of my favorites. My favorite in the open network test was Wonder Museum, and I honestly think it's mostly in the music. It was the first song in this game that really had me listening to it in my own time and booting up the track just to hear it. And the track itself is cool as hell thematically. It has a bunch of different historical artifacts from Sonic's world on display, and I really like the Lap 3 gimmick where it all comes to life. Aqua Forest is another one with a standout song for me, but the thing that makes this track stick out to me is actually its usage of the water sections. Most of the time, I think the water sections are kinda lame, but this one does something really cool by having alt paths where you use the jump mechanic you have in the water to jump through dash rings. It almost feels reminiscent of the flight paths from Sonic Riders, which I think is really cool. Pumpkin Mansion is insane. It's like a combination of the themes of Mystic Mansion from Heroes and Pumpkin Hill from SA2, and I'm all for it, and the song is crazy. You know, I'm starting to think that I just like the tracks with good songs. There's some other standouts too. Crystal Mine is an amazing track. Eggman Expo is such a cool theme. But this was intended to be a short video, so I'm gonna cut myself off before I wind up talking about every track in the game. So overall, I think Sonic Racing Crossworlds is pretty cool. I'm happy with it in spite of some nitpicks, most of which are just problems I have with current Sonic in general, and I can see myself continuing to play it for the foreseeable future. I I don't normally do this, but I'd like to plug my previous video here since it was a much higher effort than this one and it kinda underperformed like hell. Everyone who watched it said they really liked it, so you know, I think it's probably better than the one you just watched, so if you liked this video, you'll probably love that one. What, you think it's shameless for me to advertise at the end of my video? Crossworlds does it too!